Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
I am absolutely buzzing to get into this today because, frankly, if you're a fan of the black jersey or even just high-stakes sports drama, this is it.
Oh, absolutely. This is where the politics are just as bruising as the tackles. We're looking at a huge transition period for New Zealand rugby.
It really is.
It's fascinating. We often get tunnel vision in sports. We just focus on the 80 minutes on the pitch.
Right, the drop balls, the ref calls.
Exactly. But right now, the real action is happening in the boardrooms, in the press conferences. We are watching the All Blacks leadership get a complete reshape, and the implications for the next World Cup are just massive.
That's it. And our mission today is to unpack this whirlwind. We've got speculation, we have rumors, we have some hard facts all around this hunt for the next head coach. And look, I know change can be scary, especially after how things ended with Razor. But I want to frame this positively. This feels like a fresh start.
It's a chance to reset the dial, a moment of new possibilities.
Totally. It's like cleaning out the garage, It's messy while you're doing it, but the potential for what you can build after is exciting.
That's a great way to put it. And to help us navigate all this, we're drawing on a stack of breaking news reports, transcripts from press conferences.
Specifically with Jamie Joseph.
Yes. And some really sharp commentary from legends like Sir John Kirwan and, of course, Eddie Jones, all dated right around today, February 11, 2026.
Okay, so before we dive into the scrum, I have one major request for you listening.
Yeah.
If you want to stay ahead of the game on this, you need to subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
Right now.
Hit that button, seriously. You won't miss a single update as this all unfolds.
Because things are moving incredibly fast. You don't want to be playing catch-up on this one.
So give us the roadmap. What are we unpacking?
Okay, three main things. First, the front runner, Jamie Joseph, and why the timeline suggests he's not just a candidate, but maybe the chosen one. Second, the shortlist theories. Who is actually in the running versus who is just internet gossip?
And finally,
we have to talk about the unexpected nature of these changes and, well, whether they were really unexpected at all.
Okay, let's do it. The current state of play. We have to start with the catalyst for all of this.
Scott Robertson.
Back in mid-January, Razor was unceremoniously sacked by New Zealand Rugby. This wasn't a gentle parting of ways, was it?
No, not at all, and that's always tough. Sacking a coach with that kind of public profile, it sends shockwaves through the whole system.
Sponsors, players, fans.
Everyone. But look, if we take the bigger picture view, these moments are necessary. They're pivot points. It's brutal, yes, but it clears the decks.
It forces the organization to define what it wants.
Exactly. The conversation immediately shifts from why'd they fire him to who is the solution.
And one name is screaming louder than any other, Jamie Joseph, current head coach of the Highlanders. So is he the favorite just because he's, in the country and available? Or is there a deeper tactical fit here?
It's significantly more than just proximity. I mean, if you look at the criteria the board set out, Joseph ticks every single box.
Okay.
First, the hard requirements. Experience. He's been an international head coach with Japan.
And that's not just participation experience. He didn't just show up for the tracksuit.
Not at all. Precisely. I mean, he led Japan to historic victories. He took a Tier 2 nation and made them giant killers.
Which requires a very specific skill set.
Discipline.
Right.
Structure. Things New Zealand rugby is desperate for right now. And secondly, he's working in New Zealand with the Highlanders. He knows the player pool.
Right. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. The soft launch. This is the bit I want everyone to grasp because it changes the whole timeline.
Yes.
Walk us through the All Blacks XV part of this.
This is the detail that connects all the dots. In November 2025, so months before Robertson was even fired, Jamie Joseph took charge of the All Blacks XV.
Which, just to be clear, that's the A team, right? The second string national side.
Exactly. It's the step right before the main squad. So you have to ask yourself a critical question.
Why would a guy with his pedigree, a World Cup coach, step down to coach a development squad?
Unless it wasn't a step down.
Unless it was an audition.
Or more than an audition, an integration. My analysis here is that this wasn't a random gig. This suggests NZ Rugby was already positioning him.
For months.
They were getting him into the system, letting him look under the hood, see how he handles the culture.
That is wild. So while we're all debating Razor's future, the succession plan was already being road tested.
It reframes the whole sudden sacking, doesn't it? It makes the board look less chaotic and a lot more calculated.
It really does. Which brings us to today. February 11th, Super Rugby is about to kick off.
And Jamie Joseph is facing the media. You can just imagine the scene. The media presence must have been intense.
Every question the trap.
For sure. And yet the sources say he was just coy.
Which is what you'd expect, right? He didn't bite. If he'd said, yes, I want the job, it would have been a huge disrespect to his Highlanders squad.
Of course.
He actually called the Robertson sacking totally unexpected. I have the quote right here. He said, "The publicity around the job has been surprisingly simple for the players. This is my first game in this season, and I'm really focused on the Highlanders." Do you buy that? That it was unexpected?
To him personally, who knows? But look at the language. Surprisingly simple for the players. That's a masterclass in deflection.
Shielding them.
He's shielding his squad from the noise. He's saying, the rumors are your job. My job is to beat the Crusaders on Friday.
I have to say, I really appreciate that professionalism. He kept his head down.
And that coyness, that refusal to engage, ironically, that probably makes him even more attractive to the board. It shows he can handle the pressure.
So we're sitting here, the season is starting, the rumor mill is just, it's on fire. I want to pause and just ask you, listening now, what do you think of his chances? Is he the right fit?
It's the million-dollar question. Structure or flair?
And while you're thinking about that, I do want to remind you again, if you are enjoying this deep dive, please subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
Absolutely.
When the announcement finally drops, you do not want to be the last one to know. Subscribe now so we can bring that analysis straight to you.
Okay, so we need to talk about the competition because it's not just a one-horse race.
Okay. They want us to think it isn't.
Right. We have some intel from Sir John Kirwan on the Rivals podcast, and JK is usually pretty plugged in.
You put some numbers on it.
He did. He said there were initially 13 applications.
13. For a job that many people think is already promised to Joseph.
I know, but he says it's been whittled down now, a short list of just 3.
And this is where it gets interesting. This tells us about NZ Rugby's philosophy.
Exactly. Who's on the list tells you what kind of rugby they want to play.
So let's name names. Joseph is the front runner. Who else?
The other big name being mentioned is Dave Rennie.
Dave Rennie. Now that is interesting. He's got that Chiefs DNA, Super Rugby titles, international experience with the Wallabies. But stylistically, he is very different from Joseph.
Very different, and that's the key contrast. Rennie is all about culture building, attacking flair, lots width, ball in hand.
The Chiefs mana style. Very fluid.
Right. And Joseph is seen as more pragmatic, hard-nosed, big focus on the kicking game, defensive structures. You have 2 very divergent paths there.
So it's expression and creativity versus execution and grit.
That's a great way to sum it up.
And the mystery third candidate.
Well, Kirwan admitted he didn't know for sure. He speculated it could be Warren Gatland.
Gatland, wow. That would be a massive curveball.
It would be, but that is just speculation. What's more helpful right now is knowing who is not on the list.
Okay, let's bust some myths. Who's out?
Vern Cotter is out. Signed with the Reds in Queensland. Cross him off.
And Joe Schmidt.
Reportedly ruled himself out, which is huge because a lot of fans wanted his tactical brain back in the mix.
So it really is narrowing down to Joseph versus Rennie.
It certainly seems that way. And this brings up a really interesting angle from an opinion piece by Jared Wright. He suggested this whole search might be a bit of a
PR stunt.
Yeah.
That feels a bit cynical.
Yeah.
But I guess you have to show you looked, right?
Well, Wright's point is that the criteria they set out, it points so specifically to Jamie Joseph that they probably already know who they want.
Ah, I see. It's like writing a job ad when you already know the internal candidate is getting the promotion.
Precisely. But here's the nuance. Is that a bad thing?
Go on.
You could call it predetermined, or you could call it decisive succession planning. If they identified their man months ago, then this process is just due diligence.
That's a key distinction. It might feel like a show, but if the end result is the right coach, maybe the fans won't care how they got there.
Exactly. Results dictate the narrative. If he wins, nobody cares. If he loses, people will say the search was rigged.
Now, obviously, not everyone is happy about this. We have to touch on the wider reactions.
Huh.
Eddie Jones, never one to keep his opinions to himself.
No. Eddie expressed disappointment, specifically about how the sacking was handled and how details were leaking.
Disappointment. That's polite for Eddie. Why does he care, though?
It's about the profession. It's about the coaching fraternity. When sackings are unceremonious, it damages the brand of the employer.
So the next guy is watching and thinking.
Is that how they're going to treat me in 4 years? It's a warning shot about the high-pressure nature of the job.
Speaking of warnings, we also saw a headline that Victor Matfield issued a warning about Jamie Joseph, something about player power.
Yes, and this is a critical point. Player power. The All Blacks have traditionally had a very strong senior leadership group. They run the team.
And Matfield is suggesting, what? That a disciplinarian like Joseph's might clash with them.
He's suggesting Joseph needs to manage those personalities carefully. He can't just come in and dictate terms to a group that's used to having a say if he loses the dressing room.
You're dead in the water, no matter how good your tactics are. But let's bring it back to right now. We're talking about all this off-field drama, but the Super Rugby Pacific season is literally launching.
Yes. The players are lacing up their boots. The Highlanders have a massive game against the Crusaders.
Though there was one piece of bad news on the player front. The All Blacks breakout star is missing the entire season.
A huge blow. Devastating for the player. And it complicates things for whoever the new coach is. You can't assess a player who isn't playing.
True. But the show must go on. The focus is returning to the pitch this Friday.
And that's the beauty of it. Once that whistle blows, the rumors fade. At least for 80 minutes.
And that game, Highlanders versus Crusaders, could actually sway public opinion.
Oh, for sure. If they win, the Joseph or All Blacks train gains more steam. If they get smashed, the doubters get louder.
Okay, so let's summarize. Robertson is gone. Jamie Joseph is the clear favorite. And the soft launch theory suggests he's been groomed for this.
Dave Rennie is in the mix as the style contrast. And a decision is expected within the next week or so.
It's imminent. We're waiting days, not months.
That's the timeline.
So I want to throw it back to you, the listener. We've laid out the facts. Do you think Joseph is the right man for the job? Is that Japan style of discipline what the All Blacks need? Or is this shortlist just for show?
It's a debate that's going to rage on for sure.
Absolutely. That is why you need to be subscribed to Rugby Obsession. We will be right here to analyze the decision the moment it happens. Don't rely on the grapevine. Get the deep dive.
I am certainly looking forward to seeing how this plays out.
Me too.
Yeah.
And here is a final provocative thought for you to mull over. We talked about Joseph coaching the All Blacks XV back in November. If that was the trial run, ask yourself this. Was the unexpected sacking of Scott Robertson actually unexpected? Or was it a long-term plan, hiding in plain sight the whole time?
That is the question.
Thank you for listening to Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.